In the next few moments, I'm going to share with you a revolutionary gold saving system which can quite literally create financial independence by turning spending habits into savings habits and then getting paid in both cash and gold for sharing it with others. I'm going to share with you the most powerful financial literacy program in existence today, but I want to begin with a question. When you think about most Canadians, most Americans, and people around the world, do you think they have a plan to get themselves out of debt and have the ability to retire in the next 3 to 5 years? Let me ask you another question. Do you? And even if you do, how's that plan working for you anyway? You see, I've asked that question of literally thousands, if not tens of thousands of people in the last decade, and the answer that comes back is probably very similar to what you're thinking right now. And if this is true for you or someone you know, I want to share with you why that is, why there's no shame in it, but more importantly, what we can do about it. Because numbers never lie. They will always tell us the truth as long as we look at the right numbers. And since 1932, on the depths of the Great Depression, the dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power, while gold, the vehicle that once backed our currency but no longer does, has risen in value by 6,200%. I took a snapshot of typical items being consumed in a typical home in a typical week. And you know what we discovered? Bread has gone up 959%. Movie tickets, 483%. Housing in many markets is up 1,100%. Postage stamps, 800%. And milk has gone up by 257%. So let me ask you this. Have you seen a 250 to 1,000% increase in the real wages that you can bring home in the past decade? I don't think so. I know I sure haven't, and those that I ask tell me they haven't either. And that's exactly the problem. Inflation that the government continuously tells us doesn't exist is very real. And this is why so many people are finding it so difficult to get themselves out of debt, to create any real meaningful savings, and to prepare for their financial livelihoods, because that inflation is pervasive. Let me make this absolutely clear. It is impossible to outrun exponential inflation on our declining linear incomes. But I've discovered that most people have a misconception about the nature of inflation. They believe it's an increase in the price of goods. That's the symptom. Inflation is an expansion of our money supply, which reduces the value of the notes that we have in our pockets. How did we get here? Well, it all begins in 1913 with the passing of the Federal Reserve Act, which created the Federal Reserve, otherwise known as the creature from Jekyll Island. And while most people believe that it's a U.S. government institution, it is not. It is a private corporation. It's headquartered in Puerto Rico. It's not federal. It holds nothing in reserve, and it's not even a bank. Yet since 1913, it's been dictating global and U.S. economic and monetary policy. But at least since its inception, the notes that it created, the currency we circulated, was backed by gold. And every single note backed by gold was literally exchangeable for gold. It was said that the money was as good as gold, and that's what enabled it to become the world's reserve currency. But all that ended in 1971, August 15th, when Richard Nixon, with the stroke of a pen, closed the gold window, took the U.S. dollar and with it the rest of the world off the gold standard, and broke the good as gold promise. And from that moment forward, we were on a freely floating fiat currency. Fiat currency is literally money which is backed by nothing. It's printed out of thin air with no cost, or literally created with the click of a mouse click. And with each turn of the printing press, they expand the number of units in circulation, and the value of each of those units decreases. This is why our cost of living is going through the roof, because they're printing without any regard for tomorrow. Let's look at it like this. If you had $100,000 of the cash in 1932, the purchasing power of that currency is just $2,000 today. In other words, it takes $100 of cash today to purchase what $2 would have bought you back then. Or we could look at it like this. If you took that same $100,000 in 1932 and used it to acquire gold, the value of that gold today at the time of this video would be $6,289,308. Since 1932, gold has outperformed currency by more than 6,200%. In other words, as Voltaire has once observed, paper money, fiat currency, will always return to its intrinsic value, zero. And so everything we read, see, feel, and even instinctually understand, all the experts agree, hold gold and hedge yourself against inflation. But there's a problem with it. First of all, at $1,200 or more an ounce, it's unaffordable. Most people just simply can't afford it to create any meaningful savings with it. Secondly, it's inaccessible. Where do I get it? How do I find it? Where do I store it? How do I keep it safe are some of the questions that commonly get asked. And lastly, it's difficult to use in its current format. I mean, you can't just go down to the gas station or the grocery store, give them an ounce of gold for your next tank of gas or loaf of bread, and expect to get change in return. It just doesn't work this way. So clearly, gold is the answer, but we need to get it into a more usable format. And that's called a Karatbar and cash gold. 24 karat pure gold bullion produced in small units by the gram and tenths of a gram, not ounces. Karatbars International specializes in making 999.9 pure gold produced by an LBMA accredited good delivery refinery and making it readily available to people of the world by producing it in smaller, more accessible, more affordable, and transaction-friendly weights. Coming in grams and tenths of a gram, this makes gold affordable, putting it within reach of those who previously couldn't afford it, literally democratizing the ownership of it. And our whole mission is centered around a powerful savings vehicle where individuals can open a free gold savings account and convert their declining paper currency into inflation-proof gold with each deposit they make. And as affiliates, we're not really selling anything. We use the Karatbars vehicle to teach people how to create meaningful savings by simply turning a few spending habits into savings habits and exchange their declining currency for inflation-proof gold in frequencies and amounts that simply make sense to them. And when you've met your savings objective, simply exchange those units of gold back into cash at the time you need it, having fully hedged yourself against the ravages of inflation. Our whole business model is based on one simple premise. We save money first, we make money showing others a better way to save without compromising current cash flow or lifestyle, and literally get paid in both cash and gold for showing others a better way to save. And our simple 3-step gold saving system provides you a systematic wealth creation preservation plan. Undoubtedly, this is the most powerful financial literacy program in existence today. With our powerful leverage plan, you can save money, accumulate wealth, and protect your financial future by converting declining currency into spendable, stable gold while eliminating debt, accelerating your cash flow, and inflation-proofing your money all simultaneously. Now, this video was not designed to answer all your questions. It can't do that. This video was really designed to get your attention. So did we? And if we did, I want to encourage you to get all of your questions answered and get the rest of the information. We simply want to get it to you in a manner that isn't overwhelming so that you can absorb it and fully understand it. And if this resonates with you, we'll encourage you to get yourself a free gold savings account. Yes, I said free. And give you access to the entire suite of tools, and then you can decide for yourself what it is that you want to do. If you decide that you would like to save gold and perhaps even participate in the business or income opportunity, we'll teach you, train you, support you, and mentor you all the way to success as defined by you. So with that, I say, behold the power of gold. Come and join us, because really what we're doing here is building a debt-free, financially secure society, beginning with you, all those people we haven't met yet, and then ultimately with me. Thanks very much. Look forward to hearing from you and speaking with you soon.